All right. Good evening, guys. So I've got Scott joining me, and we also have Jayson joining us as well. You guys just won't be able to see him, but you will be able to hear him. So it is the three of us tonight. Happy Friday, start of the weekend. Whoop whoop.
What's a weekend? I work every day.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Sorry
I
about
get
Jason.
that. So how has everyone been so far this week?
All right, pretty good.
Mar- I'm trying to bring back my bank account balance from Christmas shopping.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
that's all right.
Lord.
That's all right. You're out tonight. You're broadcasting via truck or car.
I'm in my car right now.
Black Friday and Cyber Monday kicked you in the ass, huh?
Yeah.
Gotta hope for the big tippers.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I know. I mean, we do like DoorDash, and what's the other one? DoorDash and shit. What's the other one?
Grubhub, Postmates,
Yes.
Uber Eats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do the DoorDash and the Grubhub, and then because it's just become so much more convenient, I actually started doing the Walmart grocery drop-off thing too, like delivery thing. You know, I tip good. I understand it's their gas they're using as part of the reason I don't do it anymore. So, you know, we make sure that we always tip our delivery people very well.
Yeah. I'm not too happy with DoorDash anymore. I refuse to order from them anymore because they fired me because some guy said I didn't drop off food at all when I specifically remember dropping the food off because he damn near dropped a whole bag of tea on my foot.
Yeah, and
And when I tried to explain this to the people, it's like, okay, we'll investigate it. Yeah, sorry, you're still being deactivated.
oh
So
wow.
because some cheap ass gutless coward decided that he wanted free food, I lost
Yeah,
my job.
that's yeah.
Yeah, that's not right.
That's not. I'm sorry about that. That's not right. That's not right at all.
That's all
But
right. I told him, I was like, you realize I don't care. I'm just kind of finding it kind of ate up that you look at my history, it's perfect. My delivery record is perfect. I've never had a single complaint, yet I get one and you remove me. That's
yeah.
okay. I'll see y'all later. The Grubhub and Uber Eats will be getting my perfect record now.
Well, and I'll
That's
tell
right.
you. I mean, I don't know. I don't, we actually, especially for the Walmart thing, but I can actually request a certain person. And I've got that way, like, especially with the Walmart delivery, grocery delivery, I've actually started to request like two different people because they're just absolutely amazing. You know, like they'll bring this shit right to like my doorstep. And of course, Liam, he always has to help. Like he's like right there running to their vehicle and like, you know, bringing the shit in the house too. But and I still tip them good, and I've got my 6-year-old out there helping them. That sucks, Jayson. That does. But like
Yeah,
you said, you know, on to elsewhere, and you know, now your reputation's gonna hold with another company. So screw them.
That's right.
Wow.
So look, you can't see Jason. I don't think you can, but I got the green screen hooked up. I got a nice background.
How'd you get in here? Hey, my dog already came to join me. One of them. I don't know where the other little creature is. Somewhere around here. So yeah, I think for tonight's episode, we kind of decided to go with talking about kind of all things within the paranormal realm. So you're talking your supernatural kind of, creatures, beings, the folklores, that kind of thing, and everything that's kind of in that, umbrella of, of paranormal. So I don't know if how we want to go about starting this. I know I kind of sat down and I started to make a list of some of the things that are, most commonly known, and then things that aren't so commonly known to, the general public. And, feel free, of course, our followers, our watchers to, hone in and get involved in this conversation. We enjoy you guys being involved in this, in our conversations. But I know some of the things that I had wrote down for very common things that a lot of people know about, and things that we have already talked about amongst like the three of us, and on our previous episodes are, I've got, for the typicals, I've got, of course, our spirits, aliens, the Bigfoots, which also includes, our Yeti, Yeti's in there too. Werewolves, a lot of people also know about the Mothman, the reptoids. When Jayson joined us for the first time, Jayson was actually talking about like a reptoid creature. A lot of people talk about fairies as well. And then I have the Jersey Devil on that list as well, as, one of typical things that people have heard about. So,
we could do an entire episode on fairies.
Yes,
there
yes.
are hundreds of fairies. You've got your ettercaps, your mudcaps, your redcaps, your pixies, and most of them are assholes.
Yes, they are. And it's so funny because now you guys know, and some of the people that have been following Paranormal Truth Seekers, they know that because of how long I've been doing this, I have years and years and years and years under my belt of, of researching this kind of stuff. And I'll tell you, one thing that I have been absolutely positively surprised about is the fact that, people look at like fairies and especially like the pixie realm of like the fairies, and they go, oh, these cute little, supernatural beings. And it's like, no. Like,
yeah, thanks, Disney.
If you only knew the trickery and the maliciousness and the deceitment, and like, these are little shits. Like,
yeah, they steal your children.
Yeah. Like, you think you gotta worry about, the little leprechauns and shit. Like, no, worry about the pixies, man. Like, but it's.
I kind of think it was joined forces.
They probably do.
To give people an idea, the reason that red caps are called red caps, it's blood.
Yes. Yes.
It's human blood. It sustains them.
But I don't think, and I could be wrong, okay, but I don't think the general population, society, really actually takes the time to sit down and really research. Okay, like we said, fairies, and now that we're on the subject, what, Jayson, there's how many different types of fairies?
Hundreds.
And people just don't really take the time to sit down and really research that. But it's mind-blowing when you actually take the time and do the research. It's absolutely mind-blowing. So I found, and it was so funny because it had actually got brought up in my home the other day, but it was one of those things where getting the kids ready for bed and stuff like that, and my 6-year-old has been like fighting me tooth and nail here recently about bedtime, and unfortunately right now he's virtual, at home, and he's getting the shits of it. So his behavior and his mentality and everything else is starting to take a toll. So like, this little shit is like giving me a hard time about going to bed. And I'm like, listen here, like I'm going to get the boogeyman after your ass. Like, and his eyes getting big and saucer. And he's just like, what's the boogeyman? You know, and the crazy thing about it is, okay, in how a lot of people even reference to the boogeyman, if you look back on the folklore and the history of the boogeyman is actually, it's used in so many different variations, but when you look back on it in folklore, it it was something that parents, adults, had summoned when their little badass children were being badasses and they wanted them to behave. But yet, in our society nowadays, it is something that a lot of people more so refer to as like something that comes to people in their sleep. You know what I mean? But that's not really the folklore behind it. It's, it has really nothing to do with sleep. It's about little badasses and setting their asses straight. Like, apparently the boogeyman does need to come to my house. So what are some of your guys' favorite, things of the paranormal realm?
Well, do you guys hear? When you were talking about fairies, do you ever hear of the Coddling fairy hoax in 1917? You ever heard of that?
I don't think so.
So 100 years ago, two girls were down a stream in a garden in Coddington, England. They took some photographs of fairies.
Oh, yes, I have heard about that.
And the
Yes.
fairies, they're actually paper cutouts.
Yes.
And they fool some people with that.
Yes, I did hear about that. And, I can't believe I actually forgot about that. But it's been years since the last time
Yes.
I heard anything about that. But yes.
I'm kind of slurry. I think it's called the Coddling thing. Coddling fairies.
I have heard of that. But you're right. I mean, that it is something that it did. It absolutely positively deceived a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think,
and
oddly,
that's the way it's spelled.
did we lose Jayson?
There you go.
I think we lost Jayson.
We must. There we go. Are you back? You back? We dropped Jayson.
Yeah, my phone lost signal for a minute, and I came back on, but it shoved me backstage.
So I don't know
Sure,
if you heard my question, Jayson, but I asked you and Scott. So what are some of your favorite or well-known, or maybe not so well-known, like things of the paranormal, the supernatural, creatures and beings? What have been some of your? Yes, I have to agree with that one.
Because we don't know anything about them at all, other than they're there.
Right, and I think, and it kind of, it's not, the shadows are a completely kind of different thing here, but I think in the same realm of like the mystery behind it would be shapeshifters for me.
Oh, you took mine.
I have always been very intrigued with shapeshifters, and I think it's just because there is so much mystery behind them, and the fact that they can take on just so many different appearances. You know what I mean? It could be a different animal, a different night of the damn week, kind of like thing. It's very intriguing to me.
That's just like I think about aliens taking over bodies.
Well, yeah. Well, look how many. And legitimate, non-legitimate, but look how many reports there have been of actual abductions. And, some of these people who are reporting them and talk about them, they swear by this, that it really did happen. And, they have certain things in which they can prove that, yeah, like, this really happened. You may not want to believe me, but how would I know this if it didn't happen? Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
UFO sightings are up big time in this country. Yeah, if you
So
guys should go. I go on the and check it out.
yeah,
And you can go by the different state and see how many UFOs are spotted. It's pretty cool.
yeah. One of the things, especially with the UFOs, I mean, and shit, I mean, since the beginning of the time of really having the internet, it has always been the videos. That's one thing that absolutely really does intrigue me, is watching some of the videos of UFOs captured. Well, and even some of the USOs as well. The submerged ones, because damn, there is some very credible looking videos out there. There really are. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go close my doors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chase, are you all excited about going in January?
Yeah, hopefully I'll have the money by then. I mean, I should. But
Well, hopefully.
yeah.
Yeah, she's back.
Hey, we help each other out too. Don't forget that, brother. We help each other out. We're a team, but we're also a family.
I might actually also have another friend who lives about a half hour away who might want to come with us and be able to contribute as well. So
We're talking Selma, right?
yeah, the one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, she lives in Philly.
Oh, okay. So she's, I mean, damn, she's close.
Yeah, she's like, that's like a 25, 30-minute drive from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Really
right.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. Cool.
Nice. And Selma is definitely a good place to have a couple of different people along. And like I was saying earlier, that way you can split up and, all the different floors that place has. It's nice to have more people.
Yeah.
So how do you guys think, and what are your opinions? And we've kind of talked about this a little bit before too. But what do you guys think about all of the little, let's just say, like, dwarfs and stuff that have been spotted? And I mean, literally, everywhere. I watched that Hellier thing that we were talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched that. That was, I mean, it was very interesting to watch, and it definitely
Actually, that's what they're called, goblins.
Yes, they are.
Goblins.
And it's one of those things that, here we go again, where kind of like with so many other, other things, they are referred to in so many different names because of like culture or country, or you know what I mean? So some places they're called dwarfs, some places they're called goblins, some places they're called the hobgoblins, other places they're called pygmies? Something like that. So yeah, I mean they're referenced.
Pygmies, I think, are actual tribes.
Yeah.
If I remember right, in South America.
And the ones that like are they the ones that like they have absolutely like no human contact and
yeah.
Yeah, like they will attack drones and like
they don't like the outside world.
No, they do not. I've watched some videos and they are some scary ass looking people, man. But think about it. Can you blame them? I mean, they've not had human contact. So all of these things that they're seeing in the sky, and the people that are trying to, like, let's just say invade, because let's get real, that's what these damn researchers and stuff like that are doing. They're invading, even if it's just trying to research. They're invading on their territory. Dude, if that were me, I'd be wanting to try to, like, bring down the drones and everything else too. You don't know what it is. It's of the beyond the known to them.
I've been watching the paranormal show, and there was the one, you guys ever hear of the hag or the night hag?
Oh yes, the night hag.
The witch, yeah, the witch. That when you're sleeping, you're paralyzed and it's going to your chest.
Yes.
Yeah. That'd be creepy. And
see,
I don't know how to do that.
The whole feeling of somebody being on your chest. Well, we know that is also very well linked to how many different things as well too. That is linked to like shadow persons, shadow figures. That's linked to something demonic. That's linked to poltergeist activity. It's
in the Middle East, it's linked to jinns.
Yeah.
Any kind of sleep paralysis has always been blamed on jinns.
Yes. Hey, I'll tell you. Have either one of you guys ever experienced that?
What, sleep paralysis?
Yes.
No, I have insomnia.
I
don't know
haven't.
what the fuck sleep is.
Hey, let me tell you something. I have on 3 different occasions throughout my life. And the last time it happened to me was, I will hands down say, was the absolute, excuse my language here, y'all, but y'all know this is not, like a kid's show. So, it scared the ever living fuck out of me. I mean, it really did. I was pregnant with my youngest son when it happened. And by the time it was all said and done, I had to pee that bad, but part of my body was still, like, paralyzed. I was army crawling to the bathroom just so I didn't piss myself. I mean, for real. I ain't got no shame. I admit to anything. But, like, it's scary. It is absolutely, positively, probably one of the scariest things. And I guess maybe that's why, being a paranormal researcher really doesn't bother me, and I don't get spooked too easily. I don't know, because the first time I experienced it, I was probably only about 10 years old. And after experiencing something like that, dude, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to put the fear in your ass. It does.
I heard
scary
something.
shit.
Yeah, I heard something once that actually, speaking of sleep stuff, kind of made me chuckle. It was I forget where I heard it, but they were talking about people who passed in their sleep. And it was like, yeah, my grandma, used to tell me that people like that, the angel just came up and, carried them off to heaven, but they're clumsy. Remember that last time you woke up, felt like you're falling?
Oh my God.
Oh.
How many people do
that's kind of creepy, dude.
How
many people do experience that? Where you think you're falling?
I thought it was time falling.
I've had ones that were so real. When I woke up, I felt like I was bouncing off my bed.
Yes, so have I.
Yeah, me too. It's scary, dude.
But I do think that there again is something that a lot of people do actually experience that. But
yeah,
I still think
have very
it's
lucid
something that
dreams.
a lot of people, yeah.
Some people have actually said that you're actually astral projecting and don't know it or realize it, and that's just your astral projection slamming back into your body.
Yes, I knew he was going to say that, because I've actually, because of it, the shit happening to me, I research everything. People make fun of me sometimes, because I do. Like, I research
Did you guys ever lucid dream?
Because of it happening to me, I'm like, I'm on Google blasting it up, man. Like, what the hell just happened to me, man? And I will spend days researching something, especially if I get a lot of conflicting, information about it. Well, then I end up spending a hell of a lot more time researching it because I want to have at least a base point to go off of with what the hell I just experienced.
Did you guys ever lucid dream?
I think dreams are one of the most. Yes, so do I.
The only time I've ever lucid dream is when my insomnia kept me up so long my body was shutting down and my brain would just fall asleep anyway, even if I was still moving.
Uh-huh.
Right. It's a real weird when you're in there.
That's the only time I've really had a lucid dream. I honestly, it's very rare that I remember a dream. Like, I've been told that I've been talking and screaming and everything in my sleep, and it's like, as far as I know, I was asleep the whole time.
I remember everything.
I would say I remember about 2% of my dreams.
Oh. I remember everything. It's crazy.
I think when Brian's awake and I start to dream, I think that's why he ends up on the couch, because he's absolutely, you guys, I'm telling you, I don't know what the hell I was dreaming about, but this goes back years ago, but I actually jumped on top of him and punched him dead in the face. And look, we're still married, so okay, But yeah, I mean, I have those dreams that seem very, very, very real, and yeah, it's probably not a good idea to wake me up if I'm dreaming like that.
I thought, right, when I was sleeping, my wife almost punched her in the head while I woke up.
I'm telling you, dreams are something I find to be very interesting, and I think it is because even though we know so much, there's still so much that we don't know. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where there's still so much that we don't. I mean, just like what we do right now, just with, researching the paranormal. There's so much that we do know, but yet there's still so much more to learn. So much more to learn.
I've actually said this to somebody who's, I wouldn't really call them a scientist, but they had a shit ton of science degrees. They were all about, the empirical system, blah, blah, blah. And he was trying to argue with me. He's like, the supernatural is not real. It's like, there's no valid proof that it is. It's like, can you give me 100% valid proof that it is not real? Like,
exactly.
No. And then I looked at him and said, then you have a theory.
Yes, exactly. How's that theory taste in your mouth, dipshit? Like, yeah. Yeah.
Like ashes in your mouth.
Yeah. So I'm interested, and I don't know how many of my guys I could get to do this with me. But
yes.
Just because Scott's like, yes. Jason's gonna be like, yes. Just because it is two of the things where, we're East Coasters. Scott and I are East Coasters. We both come from Pennsylvania, and because we're both Easters, for us, things of the nature of like the Goat Man and Mothman are widely known, very well known on the East Coast. So I want to go research this shit for myself. I really do. Because so how do you guys feel about the possibility of there being these winged, human-like, animal-like, or even just these creatures that are human-like and animal-like? Do you guys believe that there is some maybe validation or truth behind this, or do you think it's all a bunch of mush?
It's been reported many times by people, and they basically describe the same physical form and stuff, with these creatures and stuff. I'd be willing to check into that. Hell yeah.
That's what I say too. That's what I say. And there's, it's kind of like, with the Mothman, and with this like goat, half goat, half kind of like humanoid, kind of like creature. There's a lot of stories that are linked to these things where, okay, maybe it's not something bad. Maybe when you do see this supernatural creature, it is a warning. It is a sign. It doesn't mean the thing is going to pick you up and carry you off to God knows where. It could simply be that okay, kind of like the Banshee, where it is a sign. A lot of people get this shit twisted. So the original folklore of the Banshee is not that if you see her or you hear her scream, that it's death upon you. The original folklore of the Banshee is if you hear her scream or you see her, that
You lost it.
Yeah, I think she did. Okay, it wasn't me. We lost her.
Yeah, she's in your top camera. It got me a nice camera. No, she's talking about banshees. Don't think about chupacabra. Let's look one of those.
The only thing I think about the chupacabra is it could very easily be a vampire bat, because some of that is known to be in that area where the chupacabra has been spotted.
But they also said about just rabid dogs that got loose and shit. I heard that too. Feral dogs.
The reason, the original chupacabra is supposed to be a blood-drinking creature that attacks animals.
Yeah.
Which, that's a vampire bat.
Yep. I think a vampire bat and a dog got busy.
Well, if a bat's not flying, if it's large enough, it could be mistaken for like a chihuahua or a rat or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things where you'd have to kind of... With all cryptids, I have the whole, I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Because here's the big thing about cryptid hunters. They go out with preconceived notions. And this is why if I usually go investigate something, I'll look at maybe the house's history, but I won't look at any kind of eyewitness accounts. Because if I go in with preconceived notions, I'm going to hear or see something that I think's already there. So that's why I like usually going in with a clean slate approach. Like, if I don't know what's expected there and something happens, okay, that's not me. I'm automatically forming an opinion because it was influenced by stuff that's already been read or seen or whatever.
Right.
And that's what I think a lot of the cryptid hunters, a lot of the problems with cryptid hunters is they're going in with all this information about, from all other cryptid hunters and all that. So if they see this thing, something that's even slightly remotely near something that could be, the cryptid they're hunting, it's automatically proof.
All right. We were talking about cryptids.
Yeah, I missed some shit. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Yeah, because for some reason my internet will not connect at all on my laptop. And it's so weird because it's showing that I have internet, but yet.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again? Sorry.
Listen here, smart ass.
I used to be tech support, goddammit.
That's what I tell you.
Well, I
don't
thought
know.
about just like
You
turning
don't know
off
how
my.
many times that actually works because nobody does it.
Well, look, Scott and I, we were like, what? We were just talking, doing this and like talking the one day. And I was like, well, fuck, there went my internet. I went and turned my router off, turned it back on, and there it was. It was absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
But my router is on like, it's in, a whole nother room. And, well, that requires getting up right now.
Fuck that.
So, hey, at least I can use my phone, though. I mean, shit. It works.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm using my phone. I'm just going off of my phone internet.
And actually, I think the picture quality is actually a little bit better on my phone than my laptop.
We have a question in the comments.
Mine probably is too. It's just, it's so dark in my car, you wouldn't see me anyway. Because my phone doesn't have IR.
we need to invent that shit.
Yeah.
I think
We have
there
a
actually are
question.
phones. I actually think there are phones with IR capable cameras. They're just not cheap. I'm talking like a couple thousand.
Have you ever heard of Dr. Death? I've heard of Dr. Death.
I haven't.
I mean, and actually,
You're talking about Kevorkian?
I think
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I've heard him, but
she might be, but I'm not. I mean,
that was his nickname, was Dr. Death.
yeah.
Because
I mean, I'd have to.
he assisted so many people in suicides.
Scott's gonna have to like direct us here in like the comments, because if I go into like the chat, then I totally lose.
Same.
Right. So, Marie, is that who you were talking about?
My wine glass, guys. Okay, calm down.
Granted, that's all. Granted, for some obscure movie trivia, that's also the nickname they gave the main character, male, on Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
Because all of his patients that he inspected got bit by one of those super spiders and died literally like the next
I
day.
know that movie.
I don't know if I've seen that. You know what? It's fucking spiders. I probably have not seen that movie.
So yeah, that was his nickname there too, was Dr. Death.
I'm not too keen on spiders.
I used to own a tarantula.
I've held a tarantula, and I've seen tarantulas that were bigger than my head, and like, where the hell were we? Was that Jamaica? No, it wasn't Jamaica. Where were we? I forget where we were, but I mean, this tarantula, I shit you not, was bigger than my head. And then the tour guide says about how far these things can jump. And I'm like, skirt, skirt. Like, I took off. I'm like, no, no.
Was it a Goliath bird eater?
It looked like a damn bird eater. I shit you not. The thing was bigger than my head. It was huge. It was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Goliath bird eaters can get gigantic.
I don't know. I just know it was a really big spider, and I didn't like it. I said, I'm going ahead of the rest of the tour group. I don't need to be this close to one of these things. Is that what she's referring to?
She said no. I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have been referred to as Dr. Death over the years, be it
Look, she
fictional,
says, damn, talk to text.
Yeah.
Be it fictional, be it real, be it supernatural. So that one you're going to kind of have to be a little more specific on.
Yeah, a little more elaborate, please.
Well, she did say something about that's exactly it. Wasn't good. But if he ran at you, it was at your back door. That's exactly it. Wasn't good.
Huh?
Wait a second. Might she be talking about okay, you guys know the folklore about Candyman? I can't use the damn internet on my laptop. Wasn't Candyman something along the lines of like, was the same deal? Like he tried to get in your house and he always tried to enter like through the back?
That's
Or
when he has the
am I thinking of something else?
Candyman is when he said maybe 3 times in the mirror. They
Yeah.
can got your ass.
No, that's Bloody
Yeah.
Mary.
Yeah, no, Candyman is a basically a male version of Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so here's one. Have you guys heard about Little Boy in the Wheelchair?
No.
Jason, I am disappointed. You and I are like the same age. So Little Boy in the Wheelchair is the same concept. He was, if I have the story right, he was hit by a car or something like that, and he had lost both of his legs, and that's what put him in a wheelchair. And he is like forever pissed off about this. So if you say Little Boy in a Wheelchair 3 times in a mirror with red, very specifically red candles, like he will actually come out of the mirror and attack you.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's the mirror thing is a whole. There's a whole boatload of them out there. There's
Oh,
Bloody
I
Mary,
know.
There's Candyman. I mean, those are the 2 most popular ones. There's what is it called, the King's Game or something like that, where you put 3 chairs up, a mirror, and something else, and you do some certain things, and this malevolent creature comes out and grants you a wish or some. I'd have to look it up again because it's been so long since I've looked into that. But
that's like a genie. I want someone to come grant me a damn wish.
no, you don't.
Oh, okay. Not a good way. Okay, all right.
No, because one of the things is if you fuck the ritual up whatsoever, your soul becomes trapped in the mirror.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yep, nope, never mind. I changed my mind.
All right. She said about Dr. Death is a tall, dark figure with a top hat. And if you see him, it's not good. He'll come. That means death is near you. Isn't that like Hat Man?
Oh, so kind of like the Grim Reaper. I mean, when you think about it, it's like the Grim Reaper. You see the Grim Reaper, that means death is upon your door.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of weird folklore about creatures that if you come to them, they're going to try to. They're not happy. Like in England, they've got the Crooked Man.
Yes.
Here we've got Bloody Mary and Candyman and 4 billion others. What is it?
The plethora.
Pale lady. It's not the white lady, because the white lady's just the one that is on the corner of the road all the time.
The side of the road, yeah.
She is on the corner of the road.
No, that's the red lady. Yeah, there's like another one where it's kind of like Bloody Mary, but the story's not as tragic, but she still comes after you. It's like the Pale Lady or something like that. Like I said, it's been a while since I've looked into the folklore. I call most of this folklore because
isn't that kind of...
Yeah, how you do?
Because most of them I've done and nothing's ever happened.
Yeah, same. Dude, I was doing Bloody Mary in the school bathroom when I was in elementary school with my girlfriends. Like...
I mean, 12 Minutes in Heaven started out as a twisted Bloody Mary type thing, right? You lock yourself in the closet it was just supposed to be by yourself for so long and say something, and something was supposed to appear and answer questions for you.
Yes.
Right.
Then horny teenagers turned it into go in the closet and make out.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I can't say that I blame them. I mean, I guess it's better than the other outcome. So, I mean, shit.
Really.
So what is, because I think this is, it's commonly known, but it's not commonly known. It's still one of those things where we are still in that spectrum, so to speak, of both sides. What's your guys' take on the rake?
It was a made-up creature made by the Marble Hornets back on the internet about a decade ago.
What do you think, Scott?
I don't even remember that, to tell you the truth. That's R-E-K, right?
Yeah, it's the one that is like very humanoid looking, but has like extra kind of long
It's a humanoid creature
extremities
that
and
crawls around on the ground, doesn't really have much of a face structure, has a giant ass mouth,
yeah.
and claws. That's why it's called the rake, because it usually rakes down its victims.
Oh.
So I found something very interesting, and I know you guys are probably gonna laugh, but I have to bring it up because of course there's been a movie made about it and everything else now. And I found something on the internet, of course, lovely freaking internet. But I found something that actually kind of ties and links together the rake and Slender Man. Have you guys heard of Slender Man?
I understand. Yeah, Slenderman, I did. We lost Jason.
So what's your take on Slender Man? Do you really think this is something that
No.
was just made
Just
up,
yeah.
or
I don't. Slenderman is another one I think is just made up just to scare shit out of kids.
so Jess said I think there's a definite difference between urban legends and folk legends, though. Yes, I do agree. I absolutely do agree.
Okay.
And she also brought up, do we dare actually bring up Teresa talking about La Llorona? Because La Llorona is something that I have been researching for years and years and years and years.
Okay. I'm gonna clear this up right now. Slender Man was created on the internet about 2004 as a contest on the 4chan post R Supernatural to create some kind of mythical creature out of photoshopped images.
Yes.
That photoshopped image got picked up by all these people. They started making creepy pastas after it, and then the Marble Hornets made their web series, which sensationalized Slender Man. He is not real. He has never been real. He's literally the product of somebody who's had an interview and said, "Yeah, dude, I made this with
someone's
Photoshop."
art. Yes.
All they did was take a picture from like the 50s of a bunch of kids playing on a playground and put some dude with a CGI mask that covers your face and a suit.
Right, dude, what's really sick about this is years ago, these girls got together, girlfriends, they went into the woods and they killed a girl, sacrificed for Slenderman.
Yeah, and they were only like, what, 14, 15
yeah,
years old?
12,
They were,
15.
yes!
Yes, and they got all of their information off of 4chan.
Yes.
That cesspool of the fucking
Look,
internet.
I try not to get too emotionally involved when I'm watching certain things. But I will tell you that is something with watching the movie about that. I got very emotionally involved in that. And by the time I was done watching it, I was absolutely, positively furious. Furious. Like, I wanted to go find the parents of these young girls and beat their asses for being so irresponsible with their kids. Like, I'm like, how? How did this even happen? How, like, my son was in, my 13-year-old was in elementary school when the whole Slender Man first came out. And I mean, he legit was having nightmares about this. So I had to sit him down and be like, look, dude, this is not real. You know what mommy does. I'm telling you, this is not real. Sit down with me. We're going to do some research. So that is where, just like what Jayson was saying about where Slender Man evolved from. I showed my son this stuff, and I'm like, you gotta stop watching the internet, dude, because like
now there is things that are referred to as tulpas that can be manifested through consciousness, usually your subconscious. So it's possible that Slender Man could have popped into existence through tulpas. Like everybody believing, like so many people believing this thing is real. It's just like your deity theory. In ancient Greece, deities required worshipers. Yeah. Without enough worshipers, they withered and died.
Right.
It's kind of the same concept. So I'm not saying it actually is, but
well, and I'll tell you what, one of the things that
but there's a chance that there could be an entity out there that is quite possibly a tulpa of Slender Man.
And one of the things that we investigate, and we have investigated over time. I mean, now you guys know, I've been at this since I was a very young girl, and look, I'm still fucking young. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay.
But I'm aged. Okay, I'm becoming aged now.
Like a fine wine.
Like a fine wine. Okay, so we have also throughout time have learned that someone's mind and mentally what they may be going through and what that can manifest, that is a power beyond what I think anybody will ever understand. And
but, yeah, that's where a lot of your like scratches from hauntings, where the place actually isn't haunting, come from, where they get bruises and scratches. They're psychically screwing themselves up.
Right. And don't even realize it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because they're just latent and didn't realize it.
I believe that. I do. And we've dealt with it. I mean, we've dealt with it in going to claimant investigations where, this person they absolutely feel like they are being tormented, like the activity in their home is so off the wall and off the chain that, they want to sell their house. And in the end, it has nothing relatively to do with the paranormal. It's what they're manifesting. I mean, yeah, it does, but not.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a ghost or demon or spirit.
It's what they're manifesting in their own head. It's what they're, and not so much manifesting in their own head, but what they are actually able to create and make happen because of their psyche. And that's something that is still very widely misunderstood. That, that people could actually have the capability of manifesting certain things or making certain things happen because of what's going on with them mentally, kind of like thing. I mean, I've been at it long enough where, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. It's real.
But yeah, to go back to the original question, no, the rake, not real. It was made up in the Marble Hornets. It's just along the same lines as Slender Man. It got so popular that people started believing in it.
So
it literally started out as a creepypasta. Then it turned into the Marble Hornets incorporated into there, and so did I forget, Everyman Hybrid.
Everyman, I haven't heard of that.
It's another Slender Man series. Web series.
I'm writing this shit down because I'm gonna look it up.
all of this stuff I'm saying is fictional. They are completely 100% fictional.
Everyman hybrid? Is that what you said?
Everyman hybrid. Basically what it is a group of guys who started out wanting to do like workout videos for people on a budget. And
Okay.
they were joking around about, and one of their friends, joked around and showed up as Slender Man in one of their videos. And then they started making fun of it, and Slender Man didn't take too kindly to it.
Okay, so Jess said something very interesting. So we've had some comments that we haven't been addressing here, so I want to go back over them really quick.
I can't see them, so sorry.
I know. And the only reason I can is because I have to I have to click over to all of the comments.
Yeah.
So
I can put up with you.
first she said Slender Man's worst flaw was that the kids were legit killing each other. And La Llorona was a folk tale, like the Hex House in PA and the Mexican dog-like creature. Now, we'll go back to that one, but she did say, she was like, okay, Teresa, she said, how do you explain Cowboy scratching me in your house? You watched it happen. So yes, I do have a male presence who has been following me for years, and I gave him the name Cowboy because the fucker wears a cowboy hat. So I gave him the name Cowboy. He is, I don't really know how to explain him. And Jess can definitely kind of hone in on this because she has encountered him. She has obviously very well encountered him. And when this occurrence had happened, we were actually very directly speaking to Cowboy. And she got scratched. We all, and it was a group of us, if I'm thinking of the right time, because we investigated my old house several times because there was a lot of crazy shit that went on there. But we were legit having conversation back and forth with Cowboy and nobody else but just Cowboy. And just got scratched. And I mean, to the point where it was one of those scratches where it was beyond kind of like that flesh wound kind of like scratch. You could see like the blood at like the top of like the scratch, but it wasn't deep enough to make you like bleed kind of like thing, like that kind of scratch. So I mean, there were a lot of us three of us, four of us that were there and witnessed this happen. I mean, legit witnessed it happen.
Now, I mean, we got to preface this as saying we're not saying all occurrences are that, too, because I mean, obviously,
yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if all occurrences of people getting slapped, scratched, pushed, hair pulled, etc., were just psychic blowback. But there are things out there, and
that definitely have the capability and the power to cause harm.
And some of them are people. Were people. People are moody. People are assholes. You catch them in a bad mood, they're going to fuck you up.
So I definitely think your own psyche can manifest. But in this case, we all watched it. Yes, absolutely. We did. And then she has said it even tore my shirt. And yes, it did. I mean, it went through her shirt. Now, another comment that was made by Marie was, I did an investigation at the very site La Llorona killed her children, the most intense experience ever. Where were you where this happened?
I mean,
because the thing with La Llorona is like the weeping woman. That is what that translates to.
Yep.
And there's
Go
ahead.
So, well, because I mean, this stemmed from the conversation. The difference between La Llorona and Slender Man and the Rake. La Llorona has been folklore that's been passed down for a very long period of time in Central America, South Central America.
So many different areas. I mean, it's actually, I mean, North America, South America, Africa, Venezuela, Germany, like there are so many accounts of, and I think it is because when the translation of La Llorona is the weeping woman. And look, Jess can vouch for it. We dealt with that in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
I mean,
it's the translation.
Yeah, of a weeping woman.
But if you want to go back to the origin, where La Llorona ever originated from is actually Mexico. That's where La
Llorona originates from, but
yes,
there have been weeping women since like the Dark Ages.
Oh my God! Yes,
Europe.
exactly.
I mean, most people have mistaken weeping women for banshees.
Yes, they have, and that's part of the reason I brought up the banshee earlier, because I was kind of waiting for someone to kind of bring up, the ties, the variations kind of thing between like the banshee and a weeping woman.
That's also where the banshee gets most of its bad rap from, because the people who have seen a weeping women are generally pretty malevolent.
They're pissed, man.
So yeah, because they're pissed off spirits. So when you see one, they're usually there to cause damage.
They're toilet lovers.
What?
So yeah, I mean, La Llorona or some variation of La Llorona have been around for centuries.
Oh, forever. Yes, absolutely forever. Now she said, Marie said about it. Hold on, said about San Diego, Texas. I don't know if that's maybe the story with the La Llorona. Is that Holler Creek? Hollow Creek? Because there are, I mean, if my memory serves me right, there's like 3 or 4 different stories in Texas about like a weeping woman. But they're all over. I mean, just like Jayson said, we're on the same page here. This is something where, yeah, it's kind of, even though we know where it originated from, it's still one of those things where, because of the translation of it and what it means, it's everywhere. I mean, it's absolutely everywhere. She put off so many different emotions, you'd have to experience it yourself. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to make a trip to like Texas. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, just because of knowing the different variations of the ties, the links to, to La Llorona, I would really like to go investigate its original origin.
Mexico?
I mean, if we could all get a flight to like freaking Mexico, and yeah, no doubt, like that'd be absolutely awesome, because it's still one of those phenomenons that is people are to this day. I mean, they have a statue of her. So it is something that in their culture, in all the time, and this is kind of almost one of those things where I find it very hard to kind of be like, oh, well, this is just like, ancient kind of like an urban legend kind of like thing. Because it is something that has been accounted by so many people over so much time. And obviously it is something where that area itself, they acknowledge her.
Right.
They fully acknowledge her. And I'm going to tell you something. If you have not seen some of the videos of La Llorona in Mexico, and her crying, you have to. I'm telling you, you have to. There was a guy who he thought this whole thing based around, La Llorona was just absolute like bullshit. And he's from the States. So he went and he, went to investigate this. And I think he was there for like a week. And within the week that he was there, the wailing, the crying, the screams literally persisted for like 4 days straight. 4 days straight. And then all of a sudden just stopped. And there's video evidence of this. There's audio evidence of this. I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to experience something like that, firsthand. But I mean, not everybody is as weird and strange and as I am. But I mean, yeah. I think it'd be absolutely amazing to actually experience something like that for yourself.
Yeah, well, I'll try to get a picture to show you La Llorona.
I don't know. I mean, Jess, she said about absolutely. And then she said about, it was a story to scare off children. I mean, that's how they use it now in the Mexican culture in Mexico, is to kind of like, yes, to keep kids in the house after dark. But the history behind the original La Llorona is real. I mean, it's very accounted for and real. Yes. Yeah, it was a very tragic story. I mean, this, you're talking, this is a woman that she was emotionally shattered. She was mentally torn. And she took the lives of her 2 children. And after she had realized what she had done, she then proceeded to drown herself because she could not live with the guilt of what she had just done to her own 2 children. So, yeah, it's a very tragic, and I wouldn't say story, because there are some very well defining truth behind the history, of her, at least in Mexico. There, it's very well noted kind of thing.
Jason back. Surprise, Jason. Hello.
I hate my phone so much. I go a little bit into the country and no signal.
We're still talking about Lorena.
So what did I miss?
We were kind of talking about like the actual the real history behind La Llorona in Mexico.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I find it hard to kind of, I don't know. I personally, I find it very hard to be like, oh, every wailing, crying woman is La Llorona. Okay? Like, yes, because of what it translates to. Yeah, yeah. Any story that you hear, any spirit that you encounter where it is, a woman who cries out, whatever, yes, it's a La Llorona. But for me personally, because of the origin of where this comes from, and Scott can vouch for this for me, I will just say, if we're, investigating somewhere or hear a story or whatever, it's, oh, well, hey, have you heard about the crying woman who, well, this is what happened kind of like thing. And I personally find it hard to just refer to every story, every folklore, urban legend, whatever you want to call them out there as a La Llorona, because for me, when I think of La Llorona, it is what happened in Mexico, where this all originated from. That's what I think of. And I guess it's one of those things where I don't like connecting the term La Llorona to every other news story that you may hear or folklore or urban legend, because I know the original origin of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's that, and I mean, most of the crying, weeping women out there, when you see them, your day's not going to be ruined. Where if it's a La Llorona, your day's about to be ruined.
Yeah, I mean, your day's about to be ruined, or you are going to. Yeah, I mean, you're either going to have a bad day, or you're going to be something emotionally, physically. It is going to happen. Like when all that shit went down just recently in Mexico, where they heard her wails and her cries and everything else for like 4 days straight. Okay, everybody in that area, what they were going through mentally, and then because of what they were going through mentally, what that caused them physically was, I don't want to endure something like that. Not having to hear that for, Jesus, 3-4 days straight like that. I mean, this town was literally kind of like under attack because they could not get away from this. If you were from there, you could not get away from it. I mean, the police were there each and every single day, and on shift, and but there was absolutely nothing anybody could do, because this is something that is, it's in that realm of, yeah, we can hear it, we can experience it, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's not like you can handcuff the maybe batshit psycho crazy lady and put her in the back of a cop car and haul her away. What are you going to do?
And I'm quite sure if she could be exorcised, she would have by now.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
They
Because
probably
they
tried
have.
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
they have.
because Mexico is pretty deeply Catholic.
Just said, oh, I know it's true. I'm just saying it was spread through story. Oh yeah, and I mean it's one of those things where it's been spread through story, and it's been, kind of like any urban legend, and even your folklore. It's the same damn thing. I mean, even experiences in certain locations. Okay, so have you guys heard of the telephone? Like that, the game, like the telephone?
The telephone game? Yes.
Yeah. So you whisper something into someone's ear, and then you keep going, okay? And eventually when you come to the end, it is so not at all what it kind of started at. Yes, exactly. As what it, originally started from. Look, how many times have we experienced that in what we do? Because when we go in somewhere and someone tells us very specifically, oh, this is what's happening, this is what I'm experiencing, this is blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, we're going to research the hell out of that. We're if we don't already know about it, we're going to absolutely positively research the hell out of that. And there's how many different stories where this is exactly what has happened over time. Is there are now so many different variations of the actual origin of the story of what may actually have happened, because some of them are just nothing but stories.
And
others,
you know what that is, right? All you youngins out there, you Gen Zers and millennials out there, you'll know this word really well. It's the origination of the meme.
yeah,
or
right.
Meme. Because honestly, that's what a meme is. It's some sort of rumor or story or something that is just spread and spread and spread, and it becomes widely accepted in all variations.
Yes.
That's a meme.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So kind of
people used to call it folklore or folktales. We just changed the name. Well, we didn't.
Now it's just a meme.
The kids changed the name because they didn't want anything with it.
My son is the one who introduced me to this whole meme shit, and I'm like, a what? A honey where? And he was like, Mom, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not in, like, okay. I mean, that shit made me feel old, because now you see memes everywhere. I mean, absolutely everywhere. You can't get on any social media outlet without seeing some kind of form of a meme.
And you know what's sad? Some of these memes are going to become folklore. Like the meme that runs around, what actor is it? It's either, fuck, I can't remember now. It's either, there's some actor, but there's pictures from like now the 30s, the 1800s, and it's that actor or somebody that looks just like him, and they're all saying he's immortal. People are going to look at that in a couple hundred years if this Earth hasn't, become a flaming wreck ball, and think that person, because it was so widely accepted and so widely spread out as a meme and a joke, they're going to think there's an actual immortal person running around.
Well, there was a picture I seen, a little picture of Nicolas Cage.
That's it, Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
Oh, I love
I
that
do
man.
believe it's Nicolas Cage. It's either Nicolas Cage or
Yeah.
is it Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
No, not Johnny Depp.
It,
But yeah,
it's
I
like,
love that man too.
yeah, it's Nicolas Cage.
but yeah, the sad thing is because of how widely spread that meme is, people are going to look at it years down the road and think it's true because everyone passed that around like an original folk tale, which is
Absolutely.
how most of the original folk tales became your modern day ghost tales. Everyone passed it around
Yeah.
to the point where even if it wasn't true, people thought it was true, and it became fact.
All right,
All
I
right.
forgot I was mobile. Come on, Shay. My dog has to go out. Sorry, guys. I gotta take her out. Come on. I forgot I could actually move. I'm on my phone. There she goes. That's right. Bark at the neighbors. So here's a good one, and something that I have not heard anyone actually talk about in a very long time, surprisingly enough. So what about the hellhound? Do you believe there's any kind of truth with the story of the hellhound?
For me to believe that, that means I have to believe in hell. So, nope.
No? What about you, Scott?
Oh no.
I mean, I'm quite sure there are ghost animals out there,
Yeah. But
but a flaming hound that guards the gates of some mythical underworld? Nah.
Hades.
Yeah, and I think I mean, okay, some of the stories behind your hellhounds are they also protect cemeteries. I mean, do I believe that there could be some kind of supernatural, being or creature or spirit or whatever guarding, protecting cemeteries? Yeah, I do.
Honestly, I
But
would
do
be
I
more
really
liking
think it's
to
going to be in the form of a damn dog? I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know.
I'm more inclined to believe that a hellhound is just a spirit of a dog that never left its master and is always protecting it, and its master's probably buried somewhere in that cemetery.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and I'll tell you, we had to, unfortunately, we had to put our one dog down a few years ago, and I get the question asked a lot. Do you believe that animals, pets, whatever, can manifest into the afterlife? A spirit, however you want to refer to it. And we were kind of talking the last time about like our own personal experiences, and with it being my own personal experience, I'm gonna say absolutely. I mean, oh, it's fucking cold out here, guys. But yeah, like absolutely. Like I do believe that, yes, if we believe that a person, a human being, can come back in the afterlife as a spirit, an orb, a flash of light, however you want to look at it. I mean, how can you not believe that an animal could do the same exact thing?
The same way people believe that we're the only intelligent life in this universe because we're incredibly pretentious.
Yeah.
Human beings as a species are incredibly pretentious and think that they are the only ones of its kind. Sorry, no.
No, and I think we got talking about this, the last time we all talked is, just how naive certain people can actually be to have that mindset that's like, oh yeah, like we're the only life form out there. Like, huh?
Like, are you serious?
Well, we call
We
it
haven't
universe.
even explored 80% of our oceans. And you want to say that we're the only life form out there when we haven't even begun to touch, really, space.
We
We
call
just started
EVPs
exploring
already,
Mars,
Dolphin Cast.
and Mars is like our neighbor.
Yeah.
We literally have just started exploring Mars, and that's like the closest planet to us.
Okay, so
It
now
It
I've
took
got
us
an interesting question
2,000 years to get there.
because we're on this subject now. I have an interesting question for my guys here and everybody else watching. But do you believe, since we're going to talk about conspiracies here too,
Oh God,
do, do
the
you
one subject
believe
I hate.
Yeah,
that we have landed on the moon?
Yes,
I do.
dear God, that is so stupid. I'm sorry if anybody out here believes that, but that is so stupid to believe that we did not land on the moon. Everybody's like, well, what about this? And what about this? What about the flag that looks like it's waving? It was a special flag that was made that way. It was basically starched in
It's
place
a starch. Yeah.
for pictures, because there's no newsflash. There's no air on the moon, so you would just
Exactly.
have a limp flag.
Right.
And then the other one was like, well, you don't see Neil Armstrong's reflection in such and such picture. I was like, yeah, because somebody else took it.
Yeah,
Son,
yeah.
it's cold out here.
It was made.
Everybody's like, there were three people in that pod, or
Where's your
2 or
sister?
3.
Hey, Jason,
So
it was made in Hollywood basement.
Yeah.
yeah, and all the rocks that were brought back by them were, manufactured by the supercomputer Ed 2000, and it exactly mimicked all the molecular composites of the moon
And rocks
perfectly in the 1960s, when we didn't even have that technology.
The rocks were made of paper mache.
Oh, my
God.
brain hurts.
Don't really start with that.
Don't get me started on that, on questioning science. I swear to God, I will. You will. No.
I had to ask. I'm sorry. I had to, because we were already there and
Teresa,
talking about
now
exactly.
Now you put
That's
it there.
me.
We didn't land on the moon. Snoop Dogg and fucking JFK are still
and
alive.
Tupac
Not
are still
Snoop Dogg. Sorry,
alive.
Tupac. Sorry, Tupac and JFK are still alive in the Bahamas. And
So it was a swim.
They're all partying it up.
and vampires sparkle in the daylight.
Damn, I must be a vampire. I sparkle.
Oh my.
So what other kind of cryptid or not so
Like I
much
said,
cryptid?
gotta do a shout out to Susie Go, and a good friend of mine.
You said what, Susie?
Susie Go, yeah.
Is she watching?
Yes, she just popped in.
Oh, see, I haven't put up the comments here recently. Sorry, guys.
I just popped her up, see.
Because I'm on my damn phone.
Welcome, Susie.
Like, I want to go yell at my husband and be like, hey! Like, power it off. But I guarantee you, my son is probably on a game that is Wi-Fi. You need the internet for it. My husband's still probably watching Netflix.
Your son's probably playing Fortnite. Your husband's probably watching some kind of movie, and they're all probably like, ah!
No, because I would have heard about that by now.
Yeah. They're probably watching this Slender Man.
It's the mom fix it all kind of like thing. You gotta fix this.
So we're gonna just power this damn thing off, and because I don't feel like going to the cable box. And thanks to Jason's smart ass comment earlier.
2 years of sitting on a phone talking to idiots.
Look, I can't even find my mouse right now. It don't want to jump from one screen to the next. Are you kidding me? What is going on right now?
Hit your Windows key, hit your up arrow until you get to the, what are you on 10?
Yeah.
Hit your Windows key, move the button over until it's over to the little fucking circle with a little line through it. Hit that, move it to shutdown, and hit enter. Or hit Control Alt Delete.
I love you.
I love you
You'll
too.
be getting ready for bed. 10:30, broski. But it's the weekend, Mom.
But Mom.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
So have you guys heard about the Owl Man? Which is, it's pretty much one in the same with the Mothman, but this is in like Britain. And
No, but I could talk to my fiance, and I bet you she'd be able to tell me all about it.
well, it's interesting because if you look it up, you know, one of the very first things that I saw about it was this was said to be like one of Britain's greatest hoaxes after like the Mothman had, you know, come to life, so to speak. And you know, because we were talking about, you know, your different origins of different stories and your urban legends and your folklores and stuff like that, and it caught my attention, I think, just because, not so much because, oh well, there's this kind of like, you know, oh well, it was just made up because of like the Mothman thing, but so we know, because of how long we've been doing this, I mean, how many things have in over our time where it's been okay, so someone's been very hush hush about something until somebody else brought it up, and then it was like, oh well, now I've got the balls to be able to talk about it because somebody else brought it up, kind of like thing.
Well, if you look at it, oops. What did I just do?
Messing shit up.
Yeah, I did somehow.
You're still on. Oh.
Okay, no, it was okay. If you look at it, a lot of cryptids have inverses in other places. Nessie, for example.
Yes.
There's one in Lake Erie, apparently.
Yep.
Bigfoot, Yeti. Chupacabra, Jersey Devil.
Yes.
So there's an inverse to something somewhere, always. So that one to me is always a toss-up. It's either A, what you said, somebody's, you know, had information about this for ages but didn't want to be labeled as a crackpot, or B, somebody's glory seeking.
Yeah.
Well, and how many others are out there like that too? Or, I mean, okay, because Scott, we know Scott is, you know, he's all about the aliens, man. I'm surprised your ass hasn't been abducted yet. Okay, but maybe yeah, maybe you have.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
So what about? And I guess we can kind of say, in a way, we can kind of say the conspiracy maybe behind it. But what about crop circles? How do you guys feel about crop circles?
What I know is that back
A
when
lot of them are.
were,
A lot of them are fake, though.
yes,
Not all of them, but a lot of them are.
they were many years ago. When I was a guy, his friend or him and his brother were doing them, and they finally made it to it years later. But I think some are real because it actually sounded like this. They actually had these wood planks, and
Yeah.
they had like a jump rope thing on it. They just stamped down all around to make
Yeah.
perfect circles.
Yep. And you know that the Greys didn't start appearing until after a movie that was like in the 1950s. One of the very first alien movies depicted gray aliens.
Well, and look how many different variations there have been in different people's interpretation of what an alien looks like.
Ah, crap.
I mean, there's been so many. So many. I mean, actually, I think if we go back to where the original accounts are from, they were actually just very tiny little creatures in the beginning, but now they're like, oh well, you know, they're the size of, you know, any given average height human, and they are kind of very humanoid like, but alien like. Even that has changed so much throughout history.
Yeah,
But
there's
I'm
tons
almost
of different
positive they
ones.
started out as just being like these little tiny ass creatures.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of them. There's let me see, they got the gray alien, reptilians, Nordics. Yeah, there's a lot more than that. I could see there's also ones called Antarctican aliens. There's tons.
So what do you guys believe?
I believe it.
If they're
Certain species.
if they're really out there, and I mean, yeah, I think we all agree. I mean, it'd be very naive to say that another species is not out there. Do you think that? Do you think they're here to cause chaos and destruction, or do you think it is simply kind of the same thing of what we are doing, where it's just they're exploring, they're curious about us as we are them?
If they wanted to cause chaos and destruction, they would have done it by now.
That's kind of, yeah, that's how I
They
feel.
was their terrifying.
Like our
Because
asses, some Independence Day shit where we be gone by now.
I mean, I'm sorry to break all you samurai lovers out there, but there is no honor in war. So if they wanted to attack us, they would do it now when they far outweigh us in technology.
Oh,
They're not going to sit there and wait.
absolutely.
They're not going to sit there and wait till we're more technological advanced. English, I speak it. Technologically advanced, and then decide to attack us where they could lose.
Well,
Anything who has any kind of conquering mentality sees a planet that they want, they're going to go mine.
Yeah, and this has been something that has
I think we're
been.
not worth it.
I mean, what the earliest accounts of this dates back from like the 40s, 30s, 40s, something like that now, where people have actually come forward and said something.
Well, when was Roswell? That was like 43, wasn't it? 42, 43, something like that? Or was that 50s?
I think it was I think it was the 40s. Come on, Scott. You should know this.
Well, when was the Roswell crash?
It's 1947.
Yeah. So that's when everything started kicking off here in the States. But I mean, if you look at hieroglyphics, there's things about visitors from the stars.
Yes.
And that's BC.
Yep.
Well, actually, what are caveman drawings?
Well, yeah, you got the caveman drawings that we have now found. You have
Yeah.
all of the Egyptians.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you can't. I don't know.
I mean,
I guess
one of the
maybe
most popular beliefs out there is that the Egyptian gods were aliens, and that's how they built the pyramids. Because how in the hell did you build something like that with the technology you had?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, look, okay, even if you don't believe that there was this alien species that helped them create the Great Pyramids and everything else, then do me a gracious favor and explain to me how the hell you think they did that shit. Like, how were they able to not only okay, because you have the stories of, oh, well, it took, thousands of manpower to move this one gigantic, huge stone, rock, whatever, from point A to point B to, like, okay, I can understand that. I can understand that. But at the same token, do you realize how many people would have died doing that because of exertion and exhaustion? And so they would have ran out of manpower. So putting all of that into factor, how? Like, I would really like someone who has that very kind of skeptic mindset on that to explain that to me, to give me an explanation of their explanation for it. Because nothing that I have seen or heard makes any damn sense because of our anatomy and how we're built and what we can and what we can't endure and what we can survive and what we can't survive. Like, yeah, that's something I definitely want someone who is very skeptic about that to explain their logic or their thinking of it. It don't make any sense to me.
Well, the UFO didn't airlift. Oh. Yeah.
Well, look, and they've even said, even with some of the superiors, in the Egyptian culture, is there's no way they could have had in what we now, I guess you could say, refer to as like a normal human anatomy, because their heads were so large, but yet the build of their body was so petite and small. I mean, what, the human head on average weighs, what is it, like 10 pounds?
I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around like 10 pounds.
And most of it's your brain and skull.
But yet, when they go back and they do reconstructions of what, some of the heads would have actually been constructed, and the size and everything else, it doesn't, anatomically, it doesn't fit that a person's small figure could hold a head that large of size up like we can. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I think the whole Egyptian culture and the background of the Egyptian culture is just absolutely positively very interesting.
There's another weird theory that goes around that is kind of frightening about aliens is that once a civilization really reaches the peak of their knowledge and technology, they get wiped out. The Mayans, the Egyptians, the what's that? The crap. It was the biblical place. Samaria.
Oh, yes,
The Sumerians. All of them were wiped out, and they were all rumored to have extreme technology for their time and knowledge
Right.
and all of that, and every last one of them gone.
Well, I mean, and
No
if
natural,
you
no noted natural disaster, no noted
right,
nothing. They're just gone.
if you link and you connect that to our time, our society, our time kind of like thing. I mean, look, how many people sit back and question our own technology, and how were we at this phase in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, but then for some ungodly, weird, strange reason, we were able to propel so quickly between the 80s and the 90s and where we are now. I mean, I find it interesting. I definitely find it very intriguing with how technologically advanced we have become and how quick it had happened with some of the things that we now can do.
Okay, so some of this I can, put you at rest. Most of the shit we have, the military had it a decade before, and it's just been
On lock and
trimmed
key.
down. It was put under lock and key and then trimmed down for civilian use. The internet was built by DARPA way back in the day. They had the internet in the 70s and 80s, or a very primitive version of it.
Right.
And I mean, that was where that whole joke Bob Dole made the internet come from, because he actually did kind of help with it. He just always made the joke is that Bob Dole made the internet. Computers were originally code breaking machines that were in World War II. Nobody else had that. The Army did. Well, the military did.
Right. Yeah, very true.
So a lot of it is technology that we have. It's just that our governments are so stingy with it that it takes decades for it to get released to general public, because they want to make sure that the general public can't run amok with it and overthrow them.
Yeah. Is our government running amok with it?
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, there's proof out there that, we have mech suits now, like full on mech suits. I mean, they're not the 50-foot tall Evangelion, I'm going to crush a city with my foot mech suits, but they're mechs, and they're out there. There's active camouflage out there, like the Predator. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that this just people don't have access to because it's military, and that's where you're too.
Well, and there's so many
form,
secrets. Yeah, there's so many secrets with the military because they want to. Their most technological advances, they want to keep lock and key. Yeah. They don't want it becoming this worldwide thing, this national thing, because then everyone has the power of being able to do it or hack into it and use it, or look at the shit hackers can do nowadays.
Here's something that's going to blow your mind. The two forms of industries where most technology comes from: military industrial complex, porn. Porn is
Wow.
literally the innovators of most of your technology that you see in entertainment nowadays. And that's because yes. And that is because it's porn. They push the limits on purpose. I mean, it's porn. It's what they do. So they experiment with stuff where, you know, a normal television station or movie studio is going to worry about their budget and and you know, they don't want to try new things because it couldn't work. Where porn just like fuck it.
Literally.
We're gonna have somebody who watches this shit.
Wow.
Well, I mean, hey, I mean, he's right. He's right in the aspect of, yes, that is an industry where they have really pushed the envelope when it comes to what they release. What I mean,
like if
yeah,
you go to CES, it's not as prevalent nowadays, but back in the day when you went to CES, which is Consumer Electronics Show, it had a huge porn section, like giant, from the porn industry.
huh?
Wow.
So do you think then that we have, I don't want to say stolen, I don't know what's the right word I'm looking for. Do you believe that we have the capability and that there has been maybe shared technology from like an alien species that we now use?
Shared or reverse engineered, because if there are aliens out there, and I'm not saying there's not, and I'm not saying there is, because it's a theory.
We don't know.
There's no solid proof either way.
Right.
Any government who finds something like that is immediately going to try to reverse engineer it,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
that's something that they could use to gain an upper hand on everything else. So yeah, if some of this stuff that just came out of nowhere, like how the hell did that come? Could very well be reverse engineered alien shit.
Well, and supposedly our own U.S. government, they have spacecrafts that are actually able to go completely under radar. You know, and I mean, and not just when I say completely under radar, because we've known that. What are you doing? You're gonna rob me. Shit, kid. Nice try. But yes, we do know that our military has spacecrafts that, yeah, radar cannot pick them up.
Yeah, every stealth fighter,
But-
stealth bomber, and Blackbird ever
Exactly.
made.
Mhm.
But I mean, like, the aircrafts, the sea crafts, and where they can just poof. You know, you can see it up in the sky 1 second, and then even though it's still there, it's not there to the visible eye. It goes, I mean, completely stealth to like our eyes.
Yeah, it's active camouflage, like I was talking about. And that's
Mhm.
just a thing of putting very, very, very powerful mirrors on the bottom of something and just reflecting what's over it. I mean, that's all active camouflage is it's reflecting its surroundings. I mean, if you really look at it, invisibility, all it is you're bending light.
Right.
You're bending light to not hit you. So so the light doesn't bounce off of you and cause you to be visible. Because the human eye is actually very, very, very specialized. We evolved to have vision to be able to hunt and run from danger. We were evolved to see color because, as you know, most animals see in black and white or something of that nature.
Mhm.
To be able to see blood, to run from it, or to track it. We can only see in such a limited spectrum that blind people have an advantage over us.
They actually do, because what a lot of people do not understand about someone who is, I mean, completely blind, is how much they rely on their other senses and what they can do
And
with
I
their
mean,
other senses.
and another thing people don't really realize is how much they actually are not seeing. And that's because, I mean, look at all the spectrums out there. There's UV
Yeah.
spectrum. It goes up and down, and we see probably about maybe 1% of that spectrum.
Yeah,
And that's
I know it's not much.
another popular theory is why people don't see the supernatural is because we can't see in that spectrum. If we evolved to be able to see in that spectrum, we'd see ghosts all over the goddamn place.
Right.
Well,
Right.
because
And one of the things that I commonly get asked when it does come to, like, when we talk about spirits and ghosts is, oh, well, could a spirit be here? Could a spirit be here? Could a spirit be here? And it's like, they're everywhere. Like, they're everywhere. If scientifically what we are meant to believe about a spirit and its manifestation and everything else is true, is real, then you have to believe. I'm sorry, but you have no other option than to believe that they're everywhere around us, because it is just it's someone who, yes, their body in the physical form is dead, is deceased, but their energy still carries on. Their energy still lives.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you're surrounded by them. Like, don't know what else to tell you. I mean, good thing, bad thing, however you want to look at it. Like, but we are surrounded by energy, and there's really no escaping it. You can't.
all right. Took it off, Jason. Oh, here he is. He's back.
Yeah, my laptop has just completely said, like, screw you. I'm gonna have to reset my router. I powered this thing off now like 3 times. And it's still saying, nope, not today. I can hear something, but I can't actually hear him talking.
That's weird. There's that little circle thing. I wonder if that
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you? All
Yep.
right. Yeah, this thing's annoying because anytime I tab up to go do my job, it kicks me out.
Well, I mean, look, guys, we've actually hit our a 2-hour mark. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 11 o'clock now. But hey, this is what happens when you get very engrossed in good conversations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. And we could probably still go on for another 2 hours. You know what I mean? But we've got Jayson, who thankfully, and hey, Jayson, you the man. He's out there working, but yet he's still tuning in and talking to us and everyone else.
Trying to, at least.
Trying to, when he's not getting kicked and booted. But like I said, we've hit a 2-hour mark. So if we wanna call it wraps and call it a show and be done, I'm good with that.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's fine with me. I mean, unless anybody else
I'm
wants
not
to,
sure how with the free word.
unless somebody else wants to bring up something for me to rant about, go for it.
And I mean, hey, we'll be back on Tuesday night too. So, it's not. Now, Jayson did actually bring up. Jayson, do you want to kind of touch base with what you were thinking we could do our next episode on?
Yes. The something I'd like to talk about, because I have a strong opinion about this, is the ghost hunter shows and whether they're helping our industry or harming it. And I'm not talking about the nifty ones you see on YouTube and stuff. I'm talking about the like ghost hunters and all that crap, where most of it's just, oh, I feel something. No, you didn't. Look, it's cold here. No, it's not.
Did you hear that?
When Scott said, hey, like, this is what Jayson is thinking, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I am down for that, because this is something that, yes, we have talked about so many different times. I don't know, y'all, but I'm going to put it this way. Tuesday night may be a late night show, or we might want to start early, because if this is what we do end up discussing for our Tuesday night episode, I really do think that, kind of like tonight, it's going to be a subject manner in which, yeah, we're going to get fully involved in and really get, eyeballs deep into the conversation, and it could carry on for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned for this time. I mean,
that's why I brought it up, because I knew it would definitely fill an entire block.
Oh, hell yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have very strong opinions on some of them. Now,
I'm probably going to say this on Tuesday as well, but I am not referring to the YouTube stuff you can find, because there's a lot of legitimate people out there on YouTube that do the ghost hunting thing and record it.
Oh,
I'm just talking about like the stuff on Discovery Channel, the stuff on True TV, or any of those ones that something syndicated. I guess that would be the best way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm down for that. I'm so down for that. I mean, we might want to start an hour earlier, or or we're just going to plan on Tuesday night being a later night show.
All right.
Because, yeah, absolutely. I could get talking about that for a while. Jess actually said, next time, can we talk about demonology and the three wise men, since it's so close to Christmas, or does that blur the religious boundary?
I mean,
girlfriend, we really ain't got no religious boundaries here when it comes to our show.
I mean, if you want to get mad at me, I am a complete devout. If I don't see it, I don't believe it's true. So the Bible to me is a very nice fiction story.
Well, and a lot of people who know me well, they understand more so my religious following and belief and everything else. And I mean, yes, as a child, of course, because of my upbringing. I mean, I was baptized. My parents had me baptized. But I mean, I'm definitely not saying that I follow a very specific religion, nor have I ever followed a very specific religion, nor will I ever follow a very. And it's funny, because a lot of people do say seeing is believing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if seeing is believing, and we're going to, and we deal with this in the paranormal field. We have a lot of skeptics, because it's, oh well, if I don't see it, I don't believe it.
Oh, here, I'll just preface this. Why can't I talk today?
There he goes again.
This with the same thing I tell every person who tries to thump the Bible into me. If you believe the Bible is true, then your God is a bipolar sociopath with homicidal tendencies. Because in the Old Testament, he is vengeful and very brutal. In the New Testament, he's kind, loving, forgiving, blah, blah, blah. So that's your God. Congratulations.
Oh, that's
Your
great.
God has performed genocide more times than Nazi Germany.
You know, and I
That
don't mean to
generally tends
laugh.
to piss them off.
I don't mean to laugh, but you know, at the same time, it is. Jason and I will get along just fine.
I look at everything through the glass of logic, and if you follow the Bible to the letter, God is a bipolar sociopath with homicidal and genocidal tendencies.
Not going to say that I argue with you.
That's just according to the Bible. Of course, the Bible was written by man. Man is fallible.
Just as my topic is actually going against the biblical tale, so we're good.
It was also, written by a bunch of Romans who were afraid a bunch of Christians overthrowing them, so they wrote the Bible to not get overthrown. So, I'm going to stop now before I make a lot of enemies.
But no, I mean it's definitely I think it's definitely a subject of matter in which we could definitely discuss because like Jess said, just in the demonology aspect of it all. Yeah, we could definitely have a show just based on the demonic side of the paranormal realm and what we believe and what we have encountered. And
see, that's another thing. Demons aren't just demons. You've got demons. You've got Oni. You've got Jinn. You've got Yuri. You've got crap. What are they called in China? I know there's something else, but yeah.
I was just looking that up the other day.
Basically, about 100 different names for a demon. Just depends on where you're from.
Yes.
And Buddhists have demons.
Yes.
Christians have demons.
Yep.
Hell, even the Greeks with their thousands of gods have demons.
Well, and I will tell you, I guess you could say it would be demonic in a way because it is considered negative. It is considered, but for me, for my practice, for my belief, what I do is, I practice witchcraft. I find myself more to be on the Wiccan side than the pagan side, but it is still something. It is still a craft. It's still a belief in where there's negativity. There's bad. You know what I mean? Like
Great Mother, horned God.
There's it's everywhere. Yeah. Like there's no really escaping the, in the nutshell of it, kind of sense, the demonic aspect of it. It's everywhere. It's in any religion. It's in any belief. It's in just like Jason was saying. It's in any realm of.
Everybody needs a name for something they fear, so they give it one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. So I think we'll do. Are you going to join us on Tuesday night, Jason? Will you be able to?
Yeah, probably. I don't see why not.
It's going to be the 14th. It's 10 days from now, right?
That is, if I'm not burnt at the stake, but by next Tuesday.
No, what? Hold on. I'm using my damn phone. Next Tuesday's date is.
Well, what's next Tuesday's date?
I'm looking at it's the 8th.
Okay, you're fine then, because from the 9th to about probably 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about the 16th, I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk, and nobody's going to buy. I even told my fiance, sorry.
Let me alone.
Been waiting for this game for 5 years. No.
Well, then, yeah, we should be good, because that's the 8th, so.
Give me 1 second. I might drop on accident here because I have to check something.
So are we doing every Friday, every Tuesday now?
Well, yeah, that's what we've been doing, Scott.
We're doing every other.
Well, no, today's Friday, so our
Right.
next week's show would be Tuesday, and the following week would be Friday, and the
Alright.
following week would be Tuesday. We do it every week, but we're alternating the day that we do it
Alright.
every
But you gotta set me
week.
straight. I gotta fix the schedule. I can fix the
Damn it, Scott.
schedule. I know.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, we can fix the schedule. I mean,
Yeah.
and look, I think our viewers, our followers, look, we just started doing this. It's not like we've been doing this for
Right.
months or years, or you know what I mean. This whole live streaming thing is very, very new to us. So, sometimes we're gonna have technical fucking difficulties, and sometimes we can't control it. We can't do anything about it. But
I might have a solution for this, by the way. I'll talk to you after the show about it.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, guys, we will be on again on Tuesday. So next Tuesday on the 8th. Do we want to do 9 o'clock, or because of the subject matter in which we're going to be discussing, do we want to maybe start an hour early? Or do we not care
I don't care. It's
how late we go?
Normally, I'm off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I've called off anyway because that's Cyberpunk Day, so I won't be getting up until like noon. So I'm good.
Okay, well then we'll stick. How about this? We'll stick with our 9 p.m. since we all seem to like that time. We'll stick with that time, and for those who can join us and continue to keep chit chatting and follow along with our discussion, well, we could probably be on for maybe 3-4 hours. Just because of the subject. But yeah, I'm so down with that subject for next week. I really like that. So yeah,
Yep.
I've got a lot to say about that.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. All right. So for everyone that was with us and tuned in, and hey, I can't say it enough. We appreciate anyone who actually, is live with us and is part of the conversation. We enjoy it. Thank you for those of you who were live and interactive with us tonight. And for me personally, I look forward to Tuesday's discussion. And I'm peacing out, y'all, because my phone's at like 4%.
All right, we're gonna be here. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah,
See you
have a good
Tuesday.
night. Bye.
No, not.
See ya.